When you're the father and your son's entire career is dependent on that, they own you, Sean.
I wish my name was Hunter Biden. I could go abroad, make millions off of my father's presidency. I'd be a really rich guy. It would be incredible.
Yeah, he did that. That's what he did. That's what he's doing right now as we're recording this. Don Jr. and Eric are abroad, as they have been so much, using Donald Trump's name, Donald Trump's position to get these big deals. Now, I'm not saying it's the same exact thing as what Hunter Biden did. Hunter Biden never could have imagined being this utterly corrupt, being given billion-dollar deals only because your father is the president. I mean, on top of the fact that Don Jr. literally would not have a career if his last name was not Trump. I've never heard anyone call him talented, even at this position that he was just given. But he has loved making these comparisons between himself and Hunter Biden. He says it on Fox News. He tweets about it. The difference between me and Hunter Biden, I've been a businessman and serial investor my entire adult life. And I don't know about investor, but serial, various things, sure. He became a businessman after his dad got elected. You were born into the family. Like you're saying he became a businessman because his dad had a position. You only are a businessman because your dad has his position. It's the exact same thing, except Hunter Biden presumably had a career at some point. You, since you were born, were always gonna be given everything you've ever had and never earned. He talks about joining these venture capital firms that invest in private American companies, nothing to do with the government. They put you on boards of industries you know nothing about to curry favor with your dad. They paid you huge sums of money when you have nothing to contribute whatsoever. It has everything to do with government, your dad's position in government. He sat on foreign boards and was peddling influence to the highest bidder. You're doing that exact same thing. And then he ends, and this last line, to me, says that he does know exactly what he's doing here. Oh, and he's also a felon crackhead, and I'm not. Thanks for playing, guys. Okay, I don't know for sure that he does crack. I don't rule it out. But he definitely does some stuff that lives in the same neighborhood as crack. And maybe he's not a felon, but his dad damn sure is. So the entire thing is so utterly ridiculous. Look, if you're Don Jr., I don't know what you can do at this point. You're ruined psychologically, emotionally, in terms of the drugs. He's never gonna be better at this point. I think he could do himself some favors, Sharon, if he would just shut up about the entire thing. But what do you think?
I was gonna say the same thing. Go ahead, steal, pillage, lie, allegedly drug, cheat, whatever. But can you just shut up about it? We got it. You're grifting all over the world and soon probably orbiting it, okay? We got it, okay? But this is so rich. No one's going to just call it out, maybe because he's doing it so much. Okay, you're doing the private club now in DC where Pam Bondi and other people in the cabinet will frequent. And I mean, it's just more bribery, currying favor, whatever. No, China didn't give Ivanka, your sister, patents because her last name is Trump. It's because she's a really good businesswoman, clothing and this and that. The Trumps are just superior.
Yeah, Melania, I mean, her documentary, like she deserves like $40 million for the fascinating tale of her life. You know, her standing in rooms and then sitting in a room and there's stuff in the room. I think she deserves 100 million, no, $1 billion for her life story. It's all corruption and they know it, that's fine. And by the way, there's no consequences, so they can just brag about that. But they love the idea that they've earned any of this, that Don Jr. or Eric or Ivanka or Melania, that any of them have any talent or skill. They know deep down inside that they don't, which is the only reason this doesn't bother me even more. I know that when he lays down in bed, desperately trying to sleep, which is difficult after doing a bunch of lines, that it's running through his head probably faster than any thought runs through mine. I'm a fraud, I'm a fraud, I'm a fraud. So that makes me feel a little bit better about it. But the corruption remains. A week before Trump was scheduled to land in Saudi Arabia, the trip that he's on right now, so Eric was in Dubai at a convention talking about the Trump organization's plans to build an 80-floor hotel. He boasted that the incredible icon would redefine luxury. On behalf of myself, on behalf of my family, we love Dubai. We have such a great relationship between the US and just one of the greatest places. And I'm glad to call so many of you friends. They're all Eric's friends. Every one of those businessmen would love to just spend time with Eric, hang out, have a beer, watch some TV. Eric, you know you don't have any friends, buddy. You know that it's all contractual. It's all for business. And they've been at a bunch of different things. They're building this $5.5 billion golf club, a beachside ultra luxury community in Qatar. What do you know? It's almost as if personal business is tied in with the fact that they're getting a $500 million plane. All of this wildly corrupt. They should all be in prison. James Comer, are you awake? I know you spent years looking into the $5 million from Ukraine or whatever and couldn't find anything. Could you put like 10 minutes into this? I think it's pretty, with your eyes closed, I think you could find the corruption in this case. But that said, let's move on to one more aspect of this. We're gonna tie it a little bit back to the United States. As Trump is traveling around the Middle East, specifically here in Saudi Arabia, he's touting these deals. Oh boy, does he make some great deals. $600 billion in deals with Saudi Arabia, except that no, not even close to that. Like literally what they've announced is not even close to that. And that's assuming that all of that actually goes through. So there are some big deals. Let's acknowledge them and talk about whether they're actually a good thing. I know that he just throws out billions and billions and it's a deal and we're supposed to assume that that advances our interests as Americans, but does it? Because that includes $142 billion for state-of-the-art war-fighting equipment and services from a dozen American defense industry companies. So $142 billion in weapons that we are giving to Saudi Arabia, a country that admittedly has never wronged us. They've never supported any movements that have attacked America or anything like that. They've never used the weapons we've already provided to absolutely devastate Yemen. And so we're just supposed to assume that, hey, that's a lot of money that's gonna go to defense contractors. I guess that's good, but is it? Is more business for these companies necessarily in our favor? Like, how does that actually help us? How does that make us stronger? It might lead to more wars in the Middle East, I guess, that then we can get involved in, they get even more money. I get that that's good for their shareholders, but I don't know why it's good for us. The Saudi infrastructure projects, maybe, I don't know. I'm curious how many imported workers will die working on those. And artificial intelligence data centers so we can cook the planet faster. I don't see how any of this is good for America, but let's also note, even if you add up all of this, it's not even half the number that Trump is throwing around. So that said, Sharon, what do you make of all this?
It's just a bunch of bunk and nonsense, and it's destructive. And this coming from, you mentioned the 142 billion. This coming from, I actually heard a commentator talking very passionately about how Donald Trump, one thing you have to admit about him is he wants peace and he works so hard for peace. He wants to be the peace president, anti-war president. Hey, this is just ludicrous. This notion, okay, prop yourself up. I'm the business guy, I'm the deal maker. But to this level and these lies, we're tired of hearing it. We're not seeing anything that helps us here.
It's amazing that so what have we had in these 100 days? He's effectively shut down international trade. Now he's backed off of some of that, thankfully, because it was so stupid that he had to back off a bunch of it. But still, higher tariffs, higher prices, less business for American businesses to sell their products abroad. But what can he get? Oh, free trade when it comes to weapons. Oh yeah, no, it's $142 billion. Super easy to make those deals. Again, this is what our country is. This is the influence we can spread. Soft power's done. We've shut down those agencies. We're not doing anything to make the rest of the world give a damn about America. But we are selling weapons that will be used to probably suppress people, kill a bunch of civilians, generate a lot of goodwill for America in the long run as we cozy up to Saudi Arabia, which I'll pointlessly remind everyone, one of his best friends in charge of that country butchered a journalist. But oh, sorry, is that inconvenient? I don't want to mess up the deal by mentioning that. And we've been talking about a lot of different types of corruption. Let's just tie it all together. Trump's Middle East business deals have tripled since his first term. I guess he's just 3 times as good of a businessman. The buildings he makes are 3 times as good as they used to be. That's probably what it is. It's not about influence. It's not about affecting US policy or anything. He's just really good at making golf courses, I think. Any other thoughts, Sharon, before we move on?
No, it's just you put up that headline that said Trump Middle East deals. If the word administration would have been in there and it wasn't Donald Trump, it was somebody else, it might be okay to see, are we doing something globally except making everyone hate us? But it's all about him. And honestly, the money's one thing, it's astronomical. The coins and Bitcoin, all this stuff that they're doing, the family. But just quickly, I don't think it's about how rich do you need to be? It's about cementing some legacy, like you're, some 15-million-year-old Chinese dynasty or something. The Trump name will live forever. It's weird. It's really weird.
Very, very weird. And I didn't mention it when we were doing it, but you mentioned the crypto stuff. It was last week, an investment firm backed by Abu Dhabi said it plans to put $2 billion into Trump family crypto. Like, again, that sentence is bigger than all of the corruption we've ever had to cover before on the show. Just that one. And in 10 minutes, I'm gonna forget that I even said that.
Yeah.
And that's bigger than remember when AOC went to the Met and she paid for that dress, but like they pretended that she didn't? And they were like, this is unacceptable.
Tax
$2
the
billion,
rich.
$400 million plane. All of it, again, like if a Democrat gets in charge again, and this, I don't say this as like this is victorious, this is bad. There's nothing they can do that will count at all in terms of corruption, bribery, personal business. Nothing they'll do can ever compare to this. So I guess as a country, we're just done with covering corruption. We just have to accept all of it because we've already accepted the most individually corrupt acts that have ever been or could ever be committed by a president. That's a fun little milestone for America.